Hi. Thank you for joining us at U Inc. My name is Rhea Greif, and I'm here with you today, as I am every week, to help build the most important brand in your life, which is you. Today's guest has been a resource for many and in multiple disciplines. Director of Development in the film industry with Gateway Film Center. Connector of all things local as founder of Small Business Beanstalk, which grows small businesses. Director of Community Relations at the Creative Playground at Warhol and Wall Street, festival producer, and now managing partner at Atlas Partners, TimothyWolfStarr. So Creative Mornings host David Staley describes you as the ultimate community connector and arts maverick for the show that you did back in August 2017. And you were, for example, one of the minds behind Independence Day Festival. We had Aaron Corrigan here also who talked about that a little bit. And also Connects Columbus, which is formerly SBB, the Small Business Beanstalk. How did you develop the resource of expertise in so many different areas? Because really you kind of have like your hand in a lot of different areas, like it's like the film industry, the music industry, the art industry. And you mentioned on your show, it is ingenious. And basically, for those listening, how can they become their own best resource?
Wow. It's hard to know where to start on this one.
Okay.
But the way that I got connected with so many different groups was really out of necessity. When we started the Small Business Beanstalk, we were a business-to-business matchmaking group, and so we'd take the t-shirt company that needs a security alarm, we'd connect them, and then the security alarm needs a website. But that grew to us wanting to add in a consumer-facing product so that we could provide more value to all those services.
Gotcha.
We did that through the SBB community card, and it was a really great resource where if you were going to a coffee shop, you pay for medium coffee, you get a large,
Right.
all local.
I remember those little cards that you can put in your key ring too. I remember those.
Exactly. But then there were a lot which were a bit more complicated. For example, food trucks. Food trucks are everywhere now, and they're delicious, and I love them, and so does our community. But 10 years ago, they weren't as prominent by any means as they are now.
Right.
So I got together with some experts in the field, Chaz Kaplan, Mike Galicchio, and together we formed the Food Truck Fest. And that was greatly in part to show value to our food trucks.
Right.
Independence Day came similarly. I came in about the third year, and my focus was originally how do we bring small businesses and independent culture in with all of these bands and beer and food. And that ended up growing into all of the networks, which I'm part of in many different ways. And most of it is you figure out what you need, you figure out who can help mentor you through it, and then you know that you don't know the most about almost anything.
Okay.
And so you work with those resources to help have your weaknesses supported by their strengths.
So you don't start out as an expert, but maybe the genius is that you say, I'm going to give it a shot. I see a need here, like you said, born out of necessity. I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm going to get involved. And the more you make those connections, just kind of like neural pathways in your brain, you know, the more you make great those connections, the easier it is to kind of like traverse around them. And, you know, I just wondered too, like kind of like noticed that you had referred to your dad in some of those places. Was your dad someone that kind of gave you that confidence to just kind of go out there and just get involved and jump right in?
My father is a very interesting person.
Okay.
He was a working artist my entire childhood.
Wow.
He was the printmaker at the Ohio Village.
Wow.
He worked very, very hard. And he'd been a mechanic and a teacher and a lot of other things before that. And he would travel to Japan making these wood engravings and coming back. And, he really had that entrepreneurial spirit before it became a buzzword.
Okay.
He knew that he had to craft his own skill set in order to be able to do what he wanted with his life.
Nice. What a great inspiration. A lot of what I've read about you is reminiscent of something that I'm actively involved in and have been for the past 4 years. You talk about participation, artist culture, immediacy. You wrote an article about radical collaboration earlier this year, and that article was about an event you held, and the meta around the intersectional conversation that were had there and how those talks in and of themselves became resources for all the parties involved. For those looking for inspiration, what are your thoughts on maybe borrowing ideas or building on ideas or parlaying them into your own resource and taking that even further as you do, and then also sharing those for others? Is it necessary to, like your dad had to, right, to like reinvent the wheel and you had to do something that was never done before? Does it always have to be that way? And sometimes if we feel like we have to be super duper original, can that be a waste of resources?
I don't think much of anything is a waste of resources if it's moving you forward.
Nice.
And I think moving forward is different for everybody. I might move forward by going to another city, learning how they've built their systems, getting to know them. I could also move forward by getting a bunch of my friends together and starting a Jay-Z tribute band,
nice.
Or getting a group of friends together to play a pickup basketball game, because we just want to bond. And I mean, it takes all the energy that you have to put it all out there. But I've found that diversity of experience makes me better at my day job.
Nice.
And it makes the bonds closer between myself, those who I'm serving, and those who I work with.
Okay. And thank you for being a resource today for us on Ewing, Mr. WolfStarr. Wolf.
Thank you so much for having me.